And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you, you make me stronger. Can't go without it much longer. Remember, I remember you, you lift my spirit. With you high is all I'm feeling.
Welcome everybody to episode 36 of the ADV podcast. We're back on track, and today we're going to be talking about how China's reacted to Trump catching COVID-19, but of course other things too.
I got a little cultural thing for everyone.
Yeah, what's that?
We still do this, actually. You know how, like, I figured people might be curious. You know how you count on your hands, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Yeah.
In China, it's all done on one hand.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes when we say the number 6, it's this, like hang 10.
Yeah.
So if you see any Chinese people say Leo, like 6, it's this. This
Leo,
means
Leo.
6.
And Leo 666 means cool or awesome.
Yeah, not the
Not
mark of
the,
the
not
beast.
the mark of the beast, yeah.
Anyway,
Cool. So
what do we got lined up?
Let's go to what's new. So
Sure.
This is where we talk about what's new specifically to do with China. And, well, this actually doesn't really have that much to do with China.
Kinda.
It has something to do with China. Let's just go right into it.
You want to?
Yeah.
I think I want to preface it.
Okay, you want to preface it?
So, do you guys remember the Black Obsidian Bracelet episode?
Yeah.
You know, I sang my father a birthday song and then gave him a
Give
cookie.
him a cookie, yeah.
We've kind of taken it upon ourselves to find the YouTube ads that are promoting fake Chinese products.
Well, I mean,
or
they just come up all
they
the
come
time.
up all the time, for sure. But we get inklings that certain things are definitely a Chinese product.
Yeah.
And in this case, this is like pretty opposed to what their message is, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we pop this on? You guys might have seen. Actually, fast forward a little bit. We'll do their mission statement a little bit later.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. You guys might have seen. Keep going.
Yeah.
You might have seen this.
Okay.
Maybe just pop that open.
All right.
You guys might have seen this. This, at least for us, have been popping up nonstop.
Yeah, honestly, they have these like homegrown ads where there's a guy sitting there like, oh, I'm just sitting here in the bush, like at a stream or whatever, using my For Patriots solar power.
Right. So there's this company called For Patriots, and it's actually based out of the U.S. We're not going to entirely throw them under the bus like the Black Obsidian Bracelet Company, because they do offer products like rations and food and things like that are sourced in America.
Yeah.
Now, before we go on this tirade, the whole point, the reason we brought this up was because they kept coming up with these ads about how this company cares about Americans so much and patriots that they want them to be prepared just in case something happens. So they make these solar powered power banks, and you can be the expert on what this actually is.
Well, okay, I would like us to, I'm just going to get us out of there for a second. I want you to pay attention specifically to this little clip here. See in the bottom right-hand corner, there's like a little compass key ring that you can see on the bottom of this power bank. Now, for those of you who don't know what a power bank is, first of all, I'm sure you all do by now. It's just a portable battery that you can then charge your phone from, charge other USB devices. And in China, for a long time, they've had these solar-powered ones. And I'm going to tell you right now, they don't work. All right, a couple of years ago, I actually tried to get a factory to make some, send them to South Africa and all that, and they just don't work. You could put them out there for the whole day in the sun, and you'll get a minuscule amount of charge. They're actually just a gimmick. And I wouldn't ever get sucked into this. You can go read your own reviews of these products, and you'll see they'll get like 1 out of 5 stars and
a lot
stuff.
of them, yeah.
The real reviews anyway, not the fake bots. But basically, a power bank is a very useful thing to have. Let's all admit it. Like, you go out there, you go camping or something, it's kind of a must-have piece of equipment to take with you. And the whole point of this company, this For Patriots, is they're kind of like preppers in a way. You can see they're aiming for that market, like, you know, hey, you're American, and, you know, you got to look out for yourself, and, you know, we're going to give you the products to do it. But unfortunately, the product that they've chosen here is a really cheap Chinese product.
Just
which
go ahead and you can show them.
In fact, I used to see these exact same ones in Huajiang Bay, and you know, this is something that a lot of foreigners would do. We'll get to that. Let me just actually get to the product itself. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bam. Okay. See, in their advertising, they're like, "Look how rugged it is. Look, it's it's good for patriots, you know. They keep selling out. They're so amazing. Like, you charge all your crap from it, etc., etc. Which, I mean,
there's this whole sob story, especially on Facebook, on their campaign. It's like, wah! It says like the emoji. It's like, wah! They're selling out. That's the bad news.
Yeah, exactly.
So why don't you buy multiple versions? Why don't you buy like 4 at a time?
Oh,
go
even
much
as a
forward.
flashlight. Yeah, just sorry. This goes on forever.
Yeah, this is the Facebook
Good
ad
power
people keep
to
seeing.
yeah.
They
Keep selling out, etc., etc. Okay, well, guess what? Don't worry if it sells out, because you just go onto AliExpress.
Yeah,
here,
they're $10.
and they cost $10. So
That's one unit. So if you bought multiple, they're much cheaper.
So I mean, look, I'm not trying to undercut this company, because that is the exact same thing. The reason I said pay attention to the little compass thing is because if you actually look at the pictures, look, it is the exact same thing. See, it's got the little compass keychain. You can see it there. This is that unit.
The only difference is they'll get OEM stenciling on for their brand.
I mean, I've done this before. I've helped people source products in China, where you go to the factory and you sit down with them and you work out a minimum order quantity, and you say, look, we're going to order like 10 boxes of 5,000 or whatever, and then they put the logo on for free for you. That's part of the whole thing, the OEM thing. That's what they've done here. So they're selling something for like $30 that costs $10.
Which, I mean,
and
profit's
whatever,
profit.
you know, like that's their business model. But the whole point is that it's just disingenuous to make this like for patriots,
that's why I wanted
made
to
in the
go
USA.
back to the beginning. Like, we'll meet ourselves, but listen to their mission statement.
Yeah, just listen to the mission.
What does it mean to be a part of For Patriots? It means we're proud to support Americans and their independence.
We truly care. Everyone here loves what they do, and we're definitely striving to help everyone become more self-reliant.
We take pride in doing things the right way, and we know that if we want to provide great products for Americans, we have to continually learn, improve, and grow.
If we listen to our customers, they'll tell you what they need.
All right, so now, like we said, we don't want to throw the company out of under the bus, because they were actually, forthright when we contacted.
Well, I was about to say, nothing says American patriotism like supporting authoritarian dictatorship. But so here's the deal, right? I went on there and I knew that they would probably be honest. This isn't a Chinese company. This is an American company sourcing. Right? So I said, hey, I just wanted to buy this solar power bank, but I want to make sure that they're made in the USA. They said they're currently made in China. We make every effort to source products domestically. Some product categories, particularly those electronic in nature, are difficult or impossible to find adequate manufacturing in the U.S. This is not a cost issue, but simply chain engineering manufacturing issue. Go forward a little bit.
Okay.
Because this is a copy paste thing that they do, because I bet a lot of people ask this. So the reality is very few customers willing to pay 3 to 5 times the cost to make that happen. Yeah, okay. If that is the reality, then I wouldn't be marketing them to patriots, because a true patriot would probably want to buy an American product.
Yeah,
right?
I will tell you right now, I'm not American, right? But from my mindset, I would rather buy something made in America that is, like when it comes to tools and stuff, when we work on cars and everything, the quality is there, like a DeWalt tool or, any one of these like proper brand names. And that's just because of my vast experience dealing with Chinese products, having lived in China for 14 years. And then also, using Chinese products for so many years, the quality just isn't there.
No.
You very seldom find good quality products, and those ones are well defined. Like the DJI drones and stuff, but they've got good quality, but they've got massive marketing. They've got good quality control. They've got proper oversight. But the majority of stuff like these power banks and things like that, I wouldn't buy a Chinese product. So I would pay 5 times more.
Well, what did we do the other day? I bought a Taiwanese power bank and I paid about 3 times the price.
Yeah, because you know that the battery's not going to explode, or you know that there's not going to be an issue where it just stops working after a certain amount of time, etc. So, you know what I mean? Basically, at the end of the day, I think patriots would pay the extra 3 to 5 times for a made in American thing.
Now, or even just made not in China. There's a real concerted effort to boycott made in China, and there's a reason people are doing that, for human rights abuses and for many other reasons. Now, again, this is not to throw the company under the bus. That being said, they're forthright, which they told me. The way they market it is kind of a little dubious. I think if you're going on AliExpress or you're finding OEM manufacturers for like patriots, like real nationalistic people here in America, I think it's a little bit a little bit kind of scummy.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But okay, at least they told the truth on the live chat.
One thing you can tell whenever it's going to be a scam is when you see these products coming up on YouTube and they're suddenly someone's like, this guy was an engineer at a well-known air conditioning company. And
Those are the real bad ones.
Yeah. And then he decided that he could make his own one, and then it's going to be total scam. But most of these products that you see marketed like this, you can just look it up on Taobao or AliExpress.
Easy, yeah.
You can see,
or just Google it. Like find the product name and say made where. It's like a Google autofill always does that.
Yeah.
So a lot of their electronics are just Chinese AliExpress things.
Yeah,
it's nothing to write home about. And yeah, again, the solar technology in a $29 power bank is not going to be enough to adequately charge it properly.
I actually want to add something to this. I gave Chinese products a shot, and I did. For many years, I tried my best to, to accept Chinese products and to try them all out and give them a fair run. I bought Chinese motorcycles. I bought
Never
Chinese...
for our company.
Yeah,
we tried.
Yeah, Chinese electronics. Lots of different kinds of Chinese electronics that I bought. And Chinese furniture, Chinese everything. I've given all Chinese products a fair run, and I must say that without... DJI is probably the only one that I can say, and some of the smartphone makers, which are basically just copies of the biggest stuff anyway, except for DJI and say some of the bigger smartphone makers, I was let down every single time. Remember the electric bikes that I bought, the foldable electric bikes and stuff, always coming apart, not good. So if I have a choice between buying something that's made in China and something that's made in Germany or Taiwan or America, I will always choose the other country if I have that choice. And at the same time also, branding. You can still buy like a Sony product even if it's made in China because the oversight in the factories is good. They have usually Japanese staff from Japan in the factories. And same goes for any other nationality.
Sure.
Making sure that no corners are cut, that the proper safety regulations are in place. And then you can rest easy knowing that your product's not going to blow up. And you know what? I've had some scary situations. There was a time in winter in Shenzhen, it gets really cold, which is weird.
There's no heating.
There's no heating and stuff. So in the supermarket, in a well-known supermarket, A-Best, Xingyijia, it's a big chain around China, they were selling on special these little heatable bags. And what it is, it's like a little bag. You know these things, right?
Yeah.
It's like a little hot water bottle. Yeah. And you plug it into the wall, and then it's got a heating element inside, and it heats up.
I would never buy that.
And it gets nice and warm, and then you can like put it on your lap or on your feet or whatever. I bought one of them from this well-known supermarket, and I plugged it in the wall in my apartment, and it exploded because something went wrong with the temperature regulator or whatever, and it just kept expanding. And luckily I wasn't in the room at the time when it exploded because that's boiling hot, scalding hot, whatever that liquid.
With electricity.
Yeah, whatever liquid is in there, because it's not water. They use something else so it doesn't corrode stuff. It just went everywhere. That would have like given me 3rd-degree burns, or imagine your kid or your wife or something. So after that experience, and also like various motorcycles failing, I mean like parts like break, like the handlebars breaking and stuff. Yeah,
Chinesium.
Yeah, I decided that I'd given them enough of a chance, and that's that. No more. So
we had some really rough experiences because we went to motorcycle fairs to source a bike manufacturer that we could go to their factory and watch what they do, and they could make the base parts of the bikes for us. Yeah. So we decided to go all in. We went to the most expensive company.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
And they forced us to buy them. Right. There were some companies that were willing to be like, yeah, take some bikes, but they were like super bad quality. Yeah. So we saw these like ones that look pretty robust. Yeah. And they're like, no, you still have to buy the unit.
No, look, that's the thing. In China, you don't get free samples. People think like if you approach a factory, say, I want to import like a million.
The really cheap stuff will. Cheap stuff. But this company was like, nah. Yeah. So we bought it basically at full price for these bikes. And
it was full price.
We stress tested them across southern China, and every single one of them fell apart.
They were awful.
And that was the best. That was the most expensive.
Yeah, they were awful.
So we just gave up. We were like, I guess we're using Suzuki.
So anyway, I think the takeaway from this is that if you are a patriot, do not buy these power banks that you see for sale from For Patriots. Buy a Taiwanese brand or a German brand.
Or just go on AliExpress then.
Yeah, I mean, but rather don't support a dictatorship.
Obviously, if their mind's made up, though, if they really want one of those.
Yeah, I suppose if they really want one, they can.
Anyway.
Yeah, so let's do a couple super chats, and then we can go into the main section of our show.
Mofs Yada, future plans for this channel, new documentary. Of course, future plans are us to get back out to a different country.
Oh yeah, we're definitely doing it, but we have
Japan.
to wait for this Wuhan flu to kind of subside.
Yeah, there's not much of a choice
I'm
there.
sure you all know that traveling right now is difficult. A lot of borders are still closed.
And then if we can't quarantine for 2 weeks, it'll cut into the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually, absolutely. We'll definitely do a self-produced documentary.
We're going to do some stuff locally here anyway. That's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, so don't worry.
Sure. Until we can leave. CC, I'm politically left. How can I justify people that I support Trump because I agree with his stance on China?
Just say that.
Just say that. I mean,
Just say that.
Just say that you understand what a threat the Chinese government is currently.
Yeah. I think it's a
It's
lot
a tough
of people.
topic. I understand people don't want to have that conversation.
Yeah, it's not a conversation you want to have. But guys, right now it's such a crazy world that we live in right now, and the Chinese government. If you could see what we see and be able to read the articles we read that are coming out of China and understand China as much as we do, you will know that China is a much bigger threat than most people even fathom. I'm talking about the government policies, of course. But just take a look around at what's happening to our entertainment, our video games, our Hollywood movies. They're all being censored on China's behalf. The NBA, all this kind of stuff. They'll run around and they'll go after Trump and they'll go after anyone that they don't like. They'll do their kneeling and they'll do all their theatrics, but they will never do anything like that against China. They will do it against anyone else except China. And it shows you just how much sway China has over the West at the moment, and just how much it's impacting our lives and how much worse it's going to get in the future if we let it. So we need people to stand up to this oppressive regime that's trying to force its ideals onto us and our children and our friends and our family. So yeah, maybe say something like that.
Correct. Petters Malik, do Japanese children still have to ask their parents for permission after 20 years old? I broke up with my Japanese girlfriend. I was wondering about that. I wouldn't know anything about dating Japanese
permission
girls.
About what?
I don't know. We've never lived in Japan.
I mean, I know a couple of Japanese people, and I got Japanese friends, and it's that you get traditional people all over the place. But asking permission, you know what? Maybe it is something similar to in China from the traditional families. You do often get those. Those very controlling parents.
Yeah.
That really
I don't think that's a uniquely Japanese
No,
thing.
I'm just saying it might be an Asian, kind of
okay.
an Asian thing. I know that, for instance, one of my wife's friends is still not allowed to stay out after 10 p.m., even though she's like 35 now. She has her own child and
but
stuff.
she's not Japanese.
No, but I'm saying it's that traditional
Sure.
Asian family. It's
I
her
do
mother
think-
controls her.
I do think Japan has a lot more individual freedom outside of the family sphere. I know it's familial piety and stuff like this, but it's not to the same extent as
I'm just saying there's a possibility it's something
I
similar.
understand.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Johnson, can't ever catch the whole live show. I'm sorry. I need 2 weeks to think about Silver Bullets line.
Thank you.
Too busy wrenching on 9/11s.
Oh, nice.
Any clue when the ROC will open up for us? I heard Japan is April. It's tough to say.
Yeah, unfortunately we don't know.
I bet Taiwan will probably be around the same time though, if they can figure out a good visa policy.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
And Tornado Brick says, "Is Chongqing a cool place to live? It's quite polluted.
Yeah.
It's a bit gritty, but it is up and coming.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
It's a mega city,
interesting.
and it is an interesting place. Having been there myself, it is definitely an interesting place. You're going to see a lot of promotion of Chongqing. The government has got a massive. Chongqing, there's a company called iChongqing, which is an arm of the government of the Chongqing government.
Any tourist company is.
It's a big part of the government, and they've gone out of their way to contact and pay for a lot of YouTubers to travel around Chongqing. So they get them there, and then they show them all the sights, and they get them to film all the parts of the city. So you're going to see a lot of promotion of Chongqing, but it doesn't mean that it's better than anywhere else in China. I personally think Shenzhen's way better than Chongqing, by far. And a place like Beijing and Shanghai too, they have their ups, and well, you just need to look around and see. But yeah, don't be fooled by all the paid for promotion that's happening.
I probably wouldn't go to live in China right now.
No, I wouldn't. I'm just like,
Sure.
If you happen to, if that's your plan.
Sure. Bengal Tiger in New York City. What country are you going to after India? It's probably Japan and South Korea are going to come before India because of the coronavirus situation.
Yeah, possibly.
Both of those places have it a lot more under control than currently in India, unfortunately. Yeah. And
We'll see.
the healthcare system. And
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll have to read.
It's tough to know. Yeah.
Anyway, but they'll all happen. Let's continue.
Yeah, sorry. We're going to hit our next section then?
Yeah.
Okay, dudes, everybody, it's time for us to go to Soft Power Hour. And this is where we talk about how China is trying to change your minds through their weird and wonderful ways. This is actually talking more about how soft power is working within the borders of China this time around. And it's amazing to see that the government has convinced the people of China that the coronavirus is an external problem and that the coronavirus was introduced to China and is being introduced into China from foreigners. It's intense. You know, a friend of mine who lives in Shanghai, I'm not going to mention his name because he doesn't want to get into trouble, but he was called into his school, he teaches, and they told him that he is not allowed to travel, was not allowed to travel during the National Day holiday, which just recently happened, okay? The 1st of October was the National Day holiday. And that's the time when everybody goes out because there are very few holidays, in China where you get to travel. It's not like in the West where you can just take time off or, you can schedule your holidays. It's like you have this holiday, then you have to work, then you have this holiday, and it's all state mandated. It's a very different set sort of situation. So what happens is tons of people travel during that time. Yeah. It's insane. Millions upon millions upon millions of people all go to these tourist hotspots. It's a nightmare, actually. It's like the worst time to travel.
You don't want to travel.
You don't want to. But his school told him that him and the other foreigners working there, that they are not allowed to leave Shanghai during that time. Okay, they're just not allowed to because they are foreigners. And he was like, what do you mean? They said, because foreigners are bringing in the virus. Foreigners are infecting people. Remember that China does not allow foreigners in at the moment. They haven't been allowing it, but that's still the narrative. And then they even said, like, you guys are okay. You are good foreigners, but there are lots of bad foreigners bringing in the coronavirus. This is what they told my friend, okay? And they banned him, the school told him he's not allowed to leave. There are other people that have contacted me that are still studying, overseas students. I'm planning to make a video about it at some point, but they're still stuck in their dormitories. They haven't been allowed to leave the campus. For 6 months. They've been stuck in campus and they haven't been allowed to leave. And it's for their safety. That's what they're being told. But again, it's because at the moment in China, people think foreigners are the carriers of this virus. So when they see that America has all these cases and other places have all these cases, for them it's just validation, and they revel in it and they love it. They keep talking about it. Like, look at how amazing our China is, how we managed to stop the virus. It's a foreign problem. It's their fault. It's despicable, especially since it came from China and it was the CCP's fault that it spread around the world. But at the moment, the CCP has successfully brainwashed everyone into thinking that never happened. It's insane. Anyway, so let's get to our clip, shall we? So we're going to start out with our first clip, and then you can go ahead and lead us on this one.
举国欢庆，普天同庆，非常非常好。这是特朗普给中国的一个献礼。还让他的国家。
Maybe we should just talk about that first clip with the old ladies. Do you want to just give a
old? Look at how old they are.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. They're middle-aged.
This is the entire country celebrates. That means Trump getting the coronavirus. Now, this is the thing. All right, state media, including Hua Chunying, our favorite person, who you should fast forward a little bit so we can show.
Get to Hua Chunying?
Yeah, just show her tweet real quick.
Okay.
The official statement from China, it's right after this.
Yeah.
And by the way, this woman is the toxic, poisonous mouthpiece
she's a
of the
turd
CCP.
Warrior.
She's the turd. She's one of the turd warriors.
Yeah.
It's like the wolf warriors.
She blocked me on Twitter.
She blocked you on Twitter.
Even though I'd never ever spoken to her, or
people added you to her, tweeted in. Saddened to hear hashtag. Why do people gotta use these hashtags? By the way,
I don't know.
It's cringe as hell. Like hashtag president.
Hashtag drinking.
Hashtag drinking bubbly water.
Yeah.
Hashtag Diet Coke. And
hashtag the weather.
And the hashtag first lady of the hashtag US does it positive. Hope they both have a speedy recovery and will be fine. So diplomatically, China's not going to go out of their way to try to be like.
You have to also remember that this was released after all these other things.
Yes. My point is that this is the official state mouthpiece, right?
Sure.
Unfortunately, state media also put out things like this, where it's like, oh, okay, like we love that Trump got this. This is what he deserves, and it actually went to the education system. So it's not just the elderly here. So if we go on, I
love it. This is a gift from Trump to China that he got the disease.
COVID. So
Yeah.
it's gone into the education system as well, because a 5-year-old shouldn't have any opinion about this, right?
Yeah,
So we're
okay,
gonna
let's
play
just
this
play
real
it
quick.
quickly.
还让他的国家不戴口罩，现在疫情那么厉害，并且他们的美国。
We should probably translate
Okay.
this.
So he says Trump told everyone in America not to wear masks, so that's why America is in such bad shape right now.
我还是最严重的。他们还说中国病毒不要去中国旅行，明明就是不要去美国旅行。
So he says Trump called it the China virus.
And don't go to China to
And don't
travel.
go to China to travel, but actually we shouldn't be going to America to travel.
Yeah, we don't want to go to America to travel because
特朗普那个坏蛋总爱吹牛皮。
Trump's a
an
bullshitting idiot.
Yeah.
我就是问，为什么美国特朗普这么坏，说我们中国病毒明明就是他们自己引起的，还说我不戴口罩，我没事。
I love how they're shouting about like, oh, look at these idiot Americans, because you don't wear masks. Do you see any of them wearing masks?
Yeah, but they're not here to pick on children.
I'm not going to pick on kids, but like,
没事，我觉得他要被烤鱿鱼了。对呀，希望特朗普快点好起来。
That's a nice little boy.
that's a nice boy. He said, I hope that Trump gets better soon.
Anyway, we didn't bring this up for any Trump bandwagoners or Trump haters in the chat. The reason we brought this up is because state mouthpieces went out to do their typical diplomatic bullshit where they're just going to be like, yeah, dear leader, I hope you get better. We're best of friends.
Sure.
Forget about everything else I said. But then state media will also go out and put out things like this. And also the education system will promote things like this. Now, there are plenty of people in my country that would say the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah, there's tons of people who are like celebrating Trump getting...
I'll go on record and agree with some of the kids' statements about Trump's non-enforcement of masks, right? I'm not an anti-masker. I'm a masker.
You're a masker.
I'm a masker. You're a masker.
Yeah, scandemic masker.
Yeah.
What are they called?
What do they
Plandemic.
call it?
Scandemic.
We believe in masks. It turns out they work. Look at Taiwan.
Yeah, no, they
Right?
do work.
Believe it or not, if you cover your mouth with medical grade material, it will stop the spread of a virus.
Yeah,
Believe
well,
it or not.
helps other people more than you, but
Yep,
it does
for sure.
work.
But if everyone does it, it works, right?
Yeah.
So with those sentiments, I agree. Now, that's not the point. No. The reason we brought this up is because diplomatically, it's different than what China is showing domestically.
Yeah.
So what China will do is say, oh, we wish you a speedy recovery. We want relationships between China and America to be so good. But then domestically, they'll pump out these vile things. And I talked to my wife about this, right? And she went on and talked to some of her friends. She went on her WeChat and all this kind of stuff. And for the most part, by and large, nobody gave a shit about this. Nobody had an opinion. A couple people were like, oh, that sucks, right? That kind of stuff. But the message that gets signal boosted by the Chinese government domestically is this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they want people to care and they want people to hate and they do want people to rise up against America and have pro-China nationalism and also to have a very unfavorable opinion of America. This is how China has traditionally, in times of downturn, economic downturn and things like this, stoke nationalism, whether it's anti-Japan, anti-Canada, anti-America, traditionally done this. And this is what we're seeing now.
For me, it's a little different. My Chinese friends on WeChat and stuff, it was a bit of a mixed bag in the moments. Because you go through moments which are basically like blogs or like microblogs. Yes, tweets, basically. So you had a bunch of people which were celebrating Trump catching the virus. But you also had a bunch of people who were kind of concerned about, like, since he's caught the virus, there might be retaliation.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
But it wasn't the biggest talking point in the world.
No,
I've seen bigger stuff happen.
I think the bigger point here is that who teaches 4-year-old people, 4 or 5-year-old people about it? I'm not going to teach my daughter that China is to blame for the virus. I'm not going to say to her, hey, you know this.
It's not a talking point.
You know this pandemic that destroyed your childhood, that didn't allow you to go to school in your first year and stuff like that, or whatever.
Like my daughter right now.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that's China's fault. Go around and if someone asks you about it, say, yeah, Xi Jinping's an idiot. He blocked the news.
If I were to call my daughter into this office, she knows what coronavirus is.
Yeah.
She knows to wear a mask. She knows to wash her hands, and she knows how dangerous it is, right? Yeah. She shouldn't have to know those things, number one. And I'm royally pissed off at the Chinese government for this, right? Yeah. But she will never hear that uttered from my mouth. If I could bring her in here and she could tell you all about how viruses spread, she knows the science behind it. She loves science. Yeah. She's only 4.5, by the way. But if I asked her where it came from, she wouldn't be able to tell you. Yeah. And the reason being is because that's not something you need to tell a 4 or 5-year-old.
No. The thing is that the fact that they drill this into the children's heads at such a young age to hate on other countries and to blame other countries. It's just ridiculous, rather than teaching them what they should really be caring about at that age anyway.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out.
Just leave children out of politics like this. And this, a cultural thing. I always like to point out cultural things here. This kid that's screaming, this is a very mainland Chinese. This is very diametrically opposed to Taiwan.
Yeah.
This kid is screaming and he's saying all this kind of stuff with a really loud
doing
voice.
the finger point.
He's doing the finger point. He's projecting because this is like the communist leader. Like this is what dads do, like commie-ass dads. Laobans, like bosses and stuff.
Yeah.
They will talk over everyone. All the other kids are trying to like, I also want to talk about Trump and he's like, no, shut the F up. I know this and I know this. Because the role models around them do that. And these are the kind of people that end up in power, unfortunately. It's not the educated.
Yeah.
It's the people that can stomp on other people. This is a future Laoban, a future little boss.
Yeah, exactly.
You can stomp on everyone. You can be the biggest idiot in the entire world. But as long as you can talk over everyone else, then people will look up to you.
Yeah. So unfortunately, this is the case. Is Trump, as we all know, and the First Lady got COVID, and what you saw was jubilation, Schadenfreude, and all sorts of things coming out of China, which is not good. I mean, you don't want to, even if Xi Jinping got sick right now, I wouldn't be celebrating on the streets. Like maybe personally, but I wouldn't be going to a camera. I wouldn't be going to a camera being like, yeah, that,
well, I mean,
that
it's much
piece of shit.
It's also
about
much deeper
time.
than that. If he got sick, then there's just another horrific power vacuum that's going to take over.
Sure. Anyway, that's pretty much our soft power hour for today. So let's hit a couple of super chats, and then we're going to get onto something a little more lighthearted.
People are loving my hat because they can see through my head, by the way.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I don't know why you always wear that when you do
space hat.
these.
They're calling it my space hat. Because it's cool, dude. Who else can do this? I'm magic, dude. Watch me disappear.
Just an airhead. You know what I mean?
Looks like I can go right through it. Lol,
okay.
what are you from the 90s? Like really 90s?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you, Bart Simpson?
Yeah, something like that.
Anyway, Peter Zmalik again. I got the bracelet from Ellie thanks to you for $2. Nice. Report back on its. Did it pull you out of poverty?
Yeah,
did it
we
make
want to
your
know.
sick mother better?
We want to know.
Remember about the bracelet, though? I don't think this power bank will give someone bad luck. Because remember, it turns out the bracelet will give you horrific luck if you screw it up.
Yeah, exactly. If you
It'll
lose it,
destroy
then
your
you will.
life.
Yeah. So don't get that bracelet.
No.
Yeah.
Jason An should do a collaboration with Yomi Park, a North Korean defector, on her views, not just North Korea, but China. I have a special surprise for you, Jason. I actually have an interview with her in a few days. Christina Youngren, non-beer money.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for that, because we are not drinking beer.
Well, not for a little while. Just recovering from the hospital.
It's Sober October.
Yeah, okay.
Come on.
Rocktober, Trucktober.
No, it's not Trucktober. It is Sober October.
Whatever, Tober.
I think it's good to have Sober October. You can clear out your liver and whatnot.
All right.
You die if you drank right now, don't you?
Yeah, it's probably
so
true.
would I.
Yeah. But
I don't know if you guys know this. I see a
for the
lot of
day.
people saying like, "Oh, Winston looks better," and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. But we were both in the emergency room at the
pretty
same
bad.
time.
Really, really appreciate it. Well, the thing is, yours was a week before. Well, like
Oh, it was a little
week
bit
before, so you've had more recovery time.
Yeah, it was like 4 days before.
Yeah.
I love, Petter also says, I love Ali, many products. Not great quality, but there's brands that are sold in Czechia for 20 times more in electronic shops and have great quality. Yeah, I mean, like a lot of actually even developed countries will buy these AliExpress things and just mark them up because it's super cheap.
Yeah.
It's also very dubious. Like the quality is pretty horrible.
Yeah. You got to watch out for some of those things, especially cheap
Same in
electronics
Wish.com.
with batteries.
Yeah,
because they do explode and they catch on
They'll
fire.
F you up, dude.
Yeah, they do. Like you really do have to watch out. There is very little quality control because when you get a power bank like that, it's not made by just one factory. Those OEM designs get passed around to tons of factories. They get either stolen or bought or passed on or given to other factories. So you got multiple sources making the same thing that looks the same.
Yeah.
But you'll get certain bad players that just don't do any quality control and they use very bad quality batteries and stuff.
We make it sound like it's like only sometimes. It's a lot of the times. I hate to bring this up every time, but I bought 100 USB drives and none of them worked.
None of them worked.
Zero. We didn't even have a 1% success rate.
Yeah.
Remember those, you buy like this happened a lot to a lot of friends. They buy like a hard drive and there's like sand and stuff.
Yeah, those external hard drives, yeah.
But there's like a tiny like SD card.
Yeah, there's an SD card and they put like screws and bolts to make it weigh. Yeah. Anyway.
Mikey, my wife is Fujian. I guess from Fujian. If your wife is Fujian, you're a very wealthy man. Was wondering if you guys have ever been there many times.
Yeah, Fujian. My ex-wife's originally from there.
That's right. Any tips for me when I go to visit her family there? Maybe don't mention the CCB. Just smile and eat a lot of food, and when they give you more food, just keep eating it. Be polite. Bring some gifts. Bring some fruit. Bring something from the U.S. or wherever you're from.
Yeah, like the problem is getting involved in politics in mainland China is never a good idea. So just stay away from that. Doesn't matter any side of politics. Just avoid the conversation.
Unless you speak Chinese anyway, you're not going to be doing that.
Yeah, but still. Even if you don't speak Chinese, they will still try to, through your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, translate, ask you, what do you think about the Trump trade war? What do you think about this? What do you think about that?
Do you side with China? They'll do that quite often.
Yeah, and that's just going to lead to uncomfortable situations. Just tell them you're not really sure, you don't really have an opinion, because you could say, what do you think about Mao Zedong murdering 30 million people, through starvation and stuff, You could say that and you'll just go to jail and get kicked out.
Sure.
But I'm just saying, stay away from politics, guys.
Yeah, of course. And that's why he asked that. Petter, again, you're a nice boy. Do you think if your Japanese girlfriend tells you she can't visit you because her parents told her not to, she's 21, even if you pay for a ticket, she lies? I would be very skeptical.
It sounds like a dating scam.
Yeah, like Japanese girls.
Is that an online dating scam?
Do they have that with Japan? Maybe, yeah. But no, the whole parents are not. A 21-year-old in Japan definitely has autonomy more than a Chinese person. Yeah. They can do whatever they want.
But maybe like flying to a different country, maybe they wouldn't
Maybe they'd be like, nah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Wanslm. I'm about to get a small electric motorcycle to move around the city. The only ones in my third world trash hole happen to be Chinese. Most are no-name brands, Neo and Super Soko.
No, Neo is okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Is any of them not crap? Neo is.
Neo
It's
is
okay. I can't say long-term, but it's better.
It's kind
than
of like
crap.
Xiaomi and all those better quality, higher tier Chinese products. The Neo is the best out of the electric scooters.
5 out of 10.
Definitely get that one if that's your only
5 out
choice.
of 10 would get it if it was my only choice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Petter again. Sometimes there aren't any other choices than Ali, sadly. Well, we got to vote with our... just don't buy cheap crap.
Yeah, it's tough. I understand
if you don't need to. If you don't need to.
Don't forget, where I grew up in South Africa, we had sanctions. And so we couldn't get... I couldn't get a Nintendo when I was young because they weren't allowed to be sold in South Africa. So we had to get the sort of cheap Dendies and Taiwanese knockoffs and Russian knockoffs and stuff. Right. So I get it. You sometimes are in a situation where you cannot, not get.
Oh no, I totally get it. I said if you have to.
Yeah, but if you have a choice,
Well, I guess we'll just move on and then we'll do the rest of the questions. All
right, guys. So now we're going to move on to, of course, worldview, and this is where we talk about things around the world, specifically to do with China most of the time.
Yeah.
But
this was very worldly.
This is funny. I mean. Okay, we can all recognize this. Anyone who's a car guy knows what this is. This is
let's let them guess. Okay, you guys have about 5 seconds. 5, 4.
No, of course everybody knows what that is. It's
2, 1.
I don't know why you're doing this.
Ding.
It's so ridiculous.
This because I can read what people are saying. This is like an interactive experience.
I see. Well, it is a Corvette. This is the original Corvette, the C1. Okay, made in like 1958 or something.
That's correct.
So it's really old. But it's a classic American car.
Everyone knew.
Everybody knows what this is. It's iconic. It's an iconic slab of Americana, right?
Reminds me of Soda Jerks.
Well, it's the first Corvette, and both you and I, well, I've owned 2 Corvettes. I love Corvettes. You still have a Corvette. It's iconic, right?
I have a C3. I have a 74. So not this. Don't picture this. Picture like a very
generation.
disco. Imagine a hot chick, but she's at a disco.
Okay.
That's
what mine
looks
the reason we're showing you this is a Chinese electric car company has knocked it off. Songsang Motors. Okay, they've made this abomination copy, which
dude, that looks horrific.
I mean, you can see once again that it's the exact same idea, but they just got the proportions a little wrong.
No, but it's bad, dude. That looks hideous.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the grill...
It's so fat.
The grill is exactly the same. They got the same amount of lights, they got the same amount of holes in the right places, but they just kind of made it like as if it's got an overbite or something, and it just... You see, there's the original. Yeah. Okay? That's what the original
See how sleek it is in comparison? I already thought it was kind of a chubby car back then, but now,
That's the knockoff, and that's the original, right? Okay, from 1958. Why can't Chinese companies make their own... thing ever? Why do they always have to copy? Well, because it's an iconic car. But the thing is, here's the point that annoys me the most, is GM's not even worried about this. They're just like, whatever.
They're like, it's hideous.
Yeah, but at the same time, we all know that if GM went and tried to sue this company, that they'd lose.
Oh, they'd lose in Chinese court.
Because Land Rover tried to sue over that Landwind.
I forgot to put that in.
That Evoque, the
if
Land Rover
you guys
Evoque.
have some time later, look up, I'll type it in, Landwind.
X7, I think it is. You know, the thing is, there are so many copies of cars in China that it's ridiculous. The Chevy Spark was knocked off and was called the QQ. And it's such a knockoff. Yeah, you can just take the doors off of a Chevy Spark and fit it on there.
Yeah, yours is a Toyota
Yaris knockoff.
Had a Toyota motor in it. It's just rebadged.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But the fact of the matter is that China still does this, okay? And still steals IP. You want to ever talk about stealing IP? Look, they copied
a 58 Corvette.
One of America's most iconic cars is now
shamelessly. Can we go to the Chinese promotional materials?
Yeah.
Look at how polluted it is
in
Beijing. It's just pure smog. And if you've been to China at one of these trade fair things, if you look around, they set up these like little atmospheric things around, but as soon as you walk outside, it's like industrial wasteland. Yeah. But look they've tried to go for this like 50s.
Yeah, there's like a Harley in the background. And,
they have like that fake. They have that fake. They got the Harley Riders Club definitely to come. You know how they call all the rich who are dies to come park their stuff. They have Beijing Songsan, but it's like the Harley, like what is that? Iron Cross.
Iron Cross, yeah.
What is this? SS? What is that? Why is there an
Songsan.
SS thing? Oh, Songsan. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm
just looking at the sky, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm not there.
Oh, dude, because you know what it smells like.
Yeah, it burns
your lungs.
It burns, yeah.
Coming from someone that was just in the ICU with bacterial pneumonia, if I went to Beijing right now, I'd probably die.
Yeah.
I probably would just die.
Yeah, so that's that's what's new. Let's move on to our Q&A, guys.
Sure.
So this is where we answer your questions and you question our answers.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so
let's... what's your take on the fake Chinese AirPods scam?
I'm not
we'll
aware
have to
of
look that up. G13RS, would you like us to cover that in the next thing? Because we'll definitely do a product thing.
I wonder if it's the same thing where there were those Chinese students here. Remember they did that huge scam. They made millions. What they'd do is they'd get... people from China, they'd buy an iPhone, but then they'd get a fake iPhone sent to them from China that just had the same number. They could like print the fake number. They go into the Apple store and say, look, it's dead. And then they'd replace it with a brand new one, which they would then sell to China.
Looks like that's what it is.
And then they get, so basically what was happening is they'd be giving these dud fake phones in and getting real ones back and then selling them. And they made millions and millions before they were caught.
Sure.
Yeah.
So it looks like $4.3 million worth of products for these fake AirPods. This is in June. Basically, it says a package from China whose paperwork was described as contents as lithium-ion batteries actually found to contain fake AirPods. So they did the same thing.
Yeah.
As they did it with that. That was in California, wasn't it, the first one?
I believe so. We'd have to look into it. It was about a year or two ago. So.
Yeah, so this is a new one. Interesting. That's a lot.
Well,
that's a lot.
Look, like I said, the mainland Chinese people specifically are very industrious and crafty when it comes to finding ways of making money. So, I wouldn't put it past them.
It's very acceptable there to make fake stuff. So
absolutely.
They're not getting busted there.
Yeah.
Test your luck abroad, 20 times the profit.
Yeah.
Case closed. 93. I own a foldable e-bike manufactured in China, but the company who made it is based in Taiwan. The product quality is fine, but I think it's because the ROC. It's exactly correct. So what happens is a lot of Taiwanese companies, which a lot of them have pulled out, same with Japan.
Yeah.
But traditionally, we would always meet Taiwanese people in Guangdong, where we lived, and they would oversee quality control.
Yeah, so they'd have like a shoe factory, or they have a whatever factory there.
Electronics, motorcycles.
Yeah.
So you have QC from a Taiwanese person that's based. They can be pretty strict, by the way. They can be pretty mean to the factory workers.
Oh yeah.
But it's because they need the quality control to be able to pass when they bring it into Taiwan. Taiwan won't accept poor quality products.
Yeah.
It's not the 80s anymore.
Right.
Devin S. Is this the one with the carb?
What do you mean? Is this the one with the carb?
I don't know what he's talking
about. Oh, the Corvette, maybe?
This is a while ago.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What were we talking about?
I'm not sure. I apologize. Probably
this has no carbs. This is Diet Coke.
This one doesn't have carbs either.
That's just water. Next. Sorry. Justin Pearson. Hey, Matt and Winston. I was super excited since 30 episodes ago. Thank you. When will we have this Winston analogy section?
I don't know.
With your shit analogies all the time. You're like, Just think about a peanut. It's kind of like if the...
Sometimes you have to have analogies to make it clear to people who don't understand how China works.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
But it's funny sometimes.
I
You
guess-
like come up with like ridiculous... Dude, mine is the worst last episode. It was like the oak tree. Oak tree merch, dude.
And pine, yeah, that was terrible.
That was an
Yeah.
awful analogy. I guess I win that.
Yeah, you do.
Orc Monkey 2000, our man,
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to say this last week because my bank card was locked that day.
Oh.
But I wanted to thank you for talking about cultural issues as well as political ones, even when it's more niche stuff like VTubers.
Hey,
I
it's a
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
It's an absolute pleasure.
We're talking about that. We're like, most people are not going to care about this. But at the same time, it's a real thing about China's
Yeah.
influence. So.
No, it's unfortunate that they've got this influence over even something like a VTuber, you know?
Sure.
I just can't wait for this solid grip on our entertainment and our way of life to just disappear.
Right. Cheers, guys. Glad to see Winston doing better. He made a little typo.
Thank you. I
My
appreciate
dad
it.
bought... how about me? I'm joking.
You're
How about-
fine.
my dad bought Crown Vic Police when I was a kid.
Mm.
Awesome. And I looked at a P71 today. Super fun to drive.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We agree.
Yeah, we did that on Worthless Whips, if you want to know. We
Yeah,
did
there
all
were
the
car channels in the
police
description.
car, things.
It's like Easter eggs. If you guys want to know what like an American police car, all the Easter eggs inside of it, go check out Worthless Whips.
Yeah.
Danny says, how is the COVID situation in China? There is literally no way to know, but they said it's all gone.
Yeah, they are claiming that there's been no cases. And
It's just
blah,
over.
blah,
It's
blah.
over.
But the problem is with China is that because of this whole idea of face, is that if someone does have COVID, they will hush it up. Let's just say someone goes into the hospital right now and is suffering from the same symptoms. They will quarantine them. They will treat them. They will deal with them, but they won't write down anywhere that it was COVID.
No.
Even if they do test positive, they will not let anyone know because it would make them look bad. Imagine you are the hospital that has to report to the local government that you've got a COVID patient, when the government is trumpeting to the world how free and clear they are of this virus that's a foreign problem, you know? You are now that one lowly person who has to go and shatter this image. You're not going to do it, right? You're going to make excuses. You'd rather let that patient just die in a corner than let the local government know. And the local government, if they find out, would rather kill themselves than let Beijing know.
Oh, yeah.
Because
We've talked
then,
about this power
yeah,
thing.
it's terrible. So the amount of infections that are still occurring in China will not be known because of this face-saving problem.
Nope.
Yeah, anyway.
Syed R. My friend was going to visit Guangzhou and will stay there with friends and family. Does he have to register with cops? Last time he didn't. Nothing happened. You'll register through immigration, but if he doesn't go to a hotel, he has to register with the cops.
Yeah, look, a lot of people don't do it, and
Yeah.
they're always like, oh, I never had to do it. Well, congratulations for breaking the law and being smug about it. It's the law in China that within 24 hours you have to register with the local police station.
That law, though.
It's dumb, but it's the
horrible.
law. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and not do it, the chances of anything bad happening to you are slim.
Yes.
But at the same time, especially now with the
Now
current
it- now
COVID
it's
situation,
bad.
you're definitely gonna have the
They're
cops
gonna
on
have
your
eyes on you,
ass.
for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna.
There's not
try
many
and figure it
foreigners
out.
left
No.
over in China, guys.
No.
Keep that in mind. A lot of people went home.
Yeah.
So they have more eyes to go around.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan Case. If China was like the EU in terms of quality of life, openness to immigration, democracy, I would move there immediately, maybe someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest issue, is that it's not.
Yeah. Probably won't be for a very long time.
Yeah.
Stephen Kraft. Hi, guys. Are any of your Chinese friends or family have talking about the so-called Quad of India, Japan, Australia, and U.S. increasing meetings in military exercises? And yes, and they're buffing up their own too.
Yeah, they're falling back on this whole like 200 centuries of two centuries of humiliation
Yeah,
thing.
like, it's happening again. Everyone's
the rest of the world
bullying
bullies us. Well, maybe China, if you
Stop
weren't
being a
such a
dick.
bully yourself, you might
Don't
not
be a
have
dick,
people
dude.
wanting to stand up to you. You know?
Dude, they should read the like 10 Commandments, but there should be 11th one that says, "China, don't be a dick." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very simple.
It is. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Miles Dolding, much love. What does the hat say? Is it a vaporwave thing? No, it's actually, it says Nissan GTR. Actually, it says Godzilla,
This is Gojira.
but it means Nissan GTR,
Yeah.
which actually I don't really like that much. But there is this channel, this car channel.
Okay. It was a car channel.
There was a car channel that was doing merch shit.
Yeah, in katakana it says Gojira,
Godzilla.
which is the Japanese pronunciation of Godzilla.
Yes.
Yeah.
Akuma Maksayumi. Glad you're both feeling better and home with your families. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was very horrible. Case closed 93. Being married to Chinese immigrants, do you worry about your kids being subject to extra pressure from their tiger moms? My wife's not a tiger mom. She's nice. I mean, she's very harsh, but like, she's fair.
It's balanced parenting, you know. Like that's the thing. We know how bad it can be having both taught in China and seen exactly how it goes there. I would never allow that to happen to my kid. But at the same time, it is good to have a little bit of discipline when it comes to study.
No, I agree absolutely.
So it's all about a balance. You know?
I think there's a big difference between people that get married to someone that's like a wildly different culture, maybe a wildly different upbringing or something. Mm-hmm. In my scenario, like my wife respects my parenting style, so it's like we both agree on stuff.
Yeah, you're a team, so you have to figure it out as you go along. You know?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. Bengal Tiger, New York City. What are your thoughts on hero bikes? What's a hero bike? Let me Google it real fast. Let's speculate. It's gonna be an e-bike. I bet it's gonna be an e-bike, like an e-mountain bike.
I don't know.
Yes, dude. I saw a couple the other day.
Okay.
They're going pretty fast, dude.
Sure.
Ripping around the neighborhood.
Look, electric bikes, I've got a huge amount of experience with them. I used to tinker with them because we couldn't have motorbikes in the city in Shenzhen. So I used to take these e-bikes and put electronic turbos in them, which just basically is a relay that dumps extra voltage into them and stuff. I did all sorts of fun stuff with e-bikes. They are a lot of fun. They can do a lot. They can be fast and all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of danger of these things. The cheap Chinese ones catching fire. But
I'm talking shit.
What is it?
It was an ad for e-bikes. It's actually like a shitty Chinese company. Oh no, it's India.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I have no idea about that. Yeah. I'm gonna assume that it's not amazing.
Yeah.
But that's me just being biased because I don't know the brand. That's how I am about brands I don't know.
Sure.
They look very cheap.
They look exactly like Chinese bikes.
Yeah.
I have to say that probably just a Chinese company.
Well, they do. No, they do have Yeah. Well, India does make their own brands.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. I mean, Royal Enfield's still made in India, which is great.
No, I'm talking about like real like homebrew. Like they have Indian motorcycle brands.
Okay.
They do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't offer you an opinion.
Yeah. Sorry, let's continue.
Maybe they're good. Maybe they're amazing.
Entirely possible.
We have a fair share of experience with very cheap bikes, so
yeah,
it will definitely not be as bad as the worst stuff I've ridden in China.
Oh,
my Jialong that was $200 new.
Yeah,
that thing literally sheared to shreds.
Remember, I bought that brand new one to build into that half and half for Sasha to build that one. Yeah. Remember, the brakes didn't even work.
It didn't work.
Like even it had drum.
That's the same with the Jialong. They didn't work.
Drum brakes front and rear. You put full brakes and the thing would just slow down.
Barely.
And even if you adjusted them properly and as much as you could, they still didn't stop.
You know what's scary is that when I bought that $200 bike, when I learned how to ride myself on that bike, I thought motorcycles just weren't supposed to stop fast. And I convinced myself it's because you'll like fly off. So I thought it was like, oh, they don't stop very fast.
That's ridiculous.
Until I got a real bike.
Yeah.
Anyway, Petter again. Actually, I broke up with my girlfriend after I got it. Not lying, so I don't wear it anymore. Also, you didn't play the Czech state senator speech. Ah, crap. We're supposed to play that speech.
All right.
We'll definitely... Here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put you in my notes right now.
Yeah, we'll play it next time.
So you don't have to worry about anything, Petter.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, next. Did you watch 1984 yet? I told you to.
No, not the new one. Did you watch the old one?
No, I didn't.
So there we go.
We both didn't do our homework.
By next time, we will have.
Let me put that in my notes,
yeah.
too.
Don't forget, guys, usually these podcasts are bi-weekly, but because we missed a week, we've doubled up. So next week there won't be one, but the following week there will be. Sure. So there's plenty of time for us to watch 1984. Yeah.
I put it in our notes, so we will. I'll watch the old one, you watch the new one. We say new, it's literally 35 years old. But anyway, Allison F. It's from before I was born.
I was born.
I know.
I could speak.
4.
I could speak.
Imagine you watching that movie and you're 4.
No, but I could speak. I could walk. I could do all that stuff. You know, I was learning.
You could. You'll probably die before me.
You weren't even in a womb.
You're 6 years older than me. You'll probably die 6 years before me.
That's entirely possible.
And I'll have to bring shit to your grave all the time. Put all your favorite bullshit there.
Just pour some beer on it every once in a while.
Pour some Coors.
Yeah.
Allison F. Buy some vitamins to stay well. I got plenty. Vivi just bought me some Centrum, like old man ass vitamins.
Okay.
I got some of that emergency powder stuff. It's got C and D in it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's like it's like a powder. It makes it like a little orange drink. Very nice. Very nice. Makes it fizzy too.
Okay.
Petter again. No, we met during an exchange study because I went to CZ. Okay. Petter, thanks guys for your videos. Not much, but I'm a student.
No, super appreciated.
I'm also losing track of the conversation.
No, seriously appreciate it. Thank you.
Seriously. Cesario JPN. Business Insider says the SS Dolphin. Oh, by the way, that's the I
Oh,
forgot
the
to
name.
mention the English name.
The name of this hideous car is the SS Dolphin.
Yes. The Songshan Dolphin will retail
Okay.
for $160,000.
What?
Twice what 2 current cheap spec Corvettes go for, the C8.
That-
Ballsy on Songshan's part. We talked about this today in the car. My father-in-law one time he was gifted, because he's in the government, he was gifted this tablet.
Bribed
I
this
guess.
tablet.
I don't know. I don't want to.
Sure.
I don't want to cast. I don't
Sure.
want to pull a not anti-Jesus here and cast the first stone or whatever.
With all his like super expensive camera gear he was gifted all the time.
Oh, he wasn't gifted. He bought that. It's hard earned.
Yeah, super hard earned.
Stop throwing my.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let's continue.
I don't care. Anyway, what was I saying? So anyway, he got this iPad, but it's called EYE. Like the
iPad. Yeah.
And it was resistive LCD. So this is iPad 2 is already out.
Yeah, the iPad 2 is out. Yeah.
It costs just as much as an iPad 2, but it was like Java. No, it was Android, but it was so bad.
It was super bad.
You couldn't do shit on that thing.
But it was one of those like Guochan, which you know, it's like proudly made.
Guochan means made in China.
Yeah. So, and it had like a leather
little, it was like embossed.
And it had like a little booklet type thing. You open it, it had a pen.
Yeah, and it had like a stamp number out of certain amount. Yeah. It's like a limited edition for this piece.
It's like the worst. It's like a
$20 tablet.
It was so bad. I don't know if you guys remember like those old pocket PCs from back in the day.
Yeah, like a Palm Pilot.
Yeah, like a Palm Pilot. It's so terrible. And it was like 8 or 9,000 RMB.
RMB. It was over $1,000.
Yeah.
That's what this Songshan Dolphin is.
Yeah.
This is the thing, is that you have the subset. So like rich Chinese people that are educated are not going to buy Songshan. They're also never going to buy anything made in China. If you meet a rich Chinese person that's actually either studied or they have their own company or something like this, they hate Chinese products. We did a video on ADVChina. Chinese people hate Chinese products.
Yeah, they won't buy them. No. They're not going to buy a Chinese branded car or anything.
No.
The only Chinese branded stuff they'll buy is like Malta, booze.
Booze
and cigarettes. They'll buy like the
most expensive
because they've got these outlandishly expensive alcohols and cigarettes in China just for that bracket of person. But they'll buy Ferraris and Lamborghinis and whatever. They won't buy a Chinese car.
My point is, let's say an oil baron or a coal baron, right? Or somebody that just randomly they found rare earths, like they always do in Mongolia. Like a Han dude, he's like 6 years old and he finds rare earths. They'll buy this.
Yeah.
They'll buy that iPad, the EYE pad. They'll spend all this money, and there's a certain niche of made in China products that are very bad.
Yeah.
But they're 10 times the price of what they should be because people have dumb money.
Can I tell the story of that subscriber of mine?
Go for it.
So this poor guy, he contacted me. Now China has this like like this.
Might as well have been
it may as well. You got this, like you're saying, these weird bracket of products that are made for these like
it's
people
dumb
that
rich.
they just want to show off that they have money.
Yeah.
So there was like some kind of a Motorola flip phone, okay, but like a very crappy one.
Yeah.
But it's like gold plated.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's such a crappy device and it's outdated, running Java and all this kind of stuff. So the guy needed a phone while he was in China. He saw this there in this phone shop and he saw the price. Now the way that prices are written in China, okay? E1GO looks like...
I'll type it in.
Yeah, you can type it in. It basically looks like 19, okay?
Yeah.
So the guy was like, this is cheap. It's only 19 RMB, all right? So he thought it was going to be like
looks
really...
Like this.
Yeah. So he's like, this must be cheap as balls. I'm buying that. So he said, I'll buy that. And he gave this credit card.
Which is rare to be able to use, by the way.
So, but it was in a swanky mall.
Okay.
Obviously, that's why this was being sold there. So they like swiped his credit card. It was 19,500 RMB. What is that in dollars?
I'll have to run. It's changed. Let's do it.
Yeah. You gotta love this.
Explain it again. It's
Yeah.
a Java.
It's a Java based. It's
about almost
$3,000 US dollars. So he thought he was buying.
So it's like literally like 3 new iPhones.
Yeah, exactly. So he paid $3,000 US dollars for this absolute piece of garbage that only had Chinese characters.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Java-based rubbish phone, but it had like gold plating and like jewels in it or something like that, And you get these weird products. They had those weird gold phones that
It's
are
for the
Chinese
dumb old rich people that didn't go to school.
Yeah.
They don't know what to spend money on.
Yeah. So the guy didn't know because he bought it, right?
Right.
And then he walked away, and then he gets his credit card company calling him or a statement or something, and then he's like, "What the hell?" I tried to give it back, and they're like, "Nope." So he lost $3,000 and got this chintzy, horrible thing that looks like it came out of a children's playset.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You'll get that. Another good example of this is let's call it like Laoban chic, like boss chic.
Yeah.
It's when you get these real undereducated people, again, that came into money, whether it's through government corruption, but they just have no idea how the world works.
Yeah.
And you'll go to an airport, like in Shanghai, I remember this. I was in the Shanghai airport, and they had a clothing brand, but it was like made in China, and it looked like shit, dude.
Yeah.
It was the worst. Like, you know that North Korean shiny fabric? Like that really horrible stuff, but it was menswear.
Yeah.
They had belts. It was like a luxury version of Septwolves, Cheapy Line.
Yeah,
Septwolves is this shit Chinese brand.
Yeah.
But they were selling these like boss shirts, these like striped polos that are made of very bad material for like 4,000 RMB.
Yeah.
And you could go and buy like a Gucci or like a whatever the brand for the same price, but they're like, this is our brand, like
and they'll have belt buckles.
They're all like embossed like 10 grand.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But they're crap. They're like made in like a shit factory.
Yeah, so I mean, anyway,
Laoban chic, dude.
Just watch out for that. Like, don't do what my subscriber did by mistake. China's not as cheap as you think sometimes.
No, it can whip you up. Devin S, I post this on every Worthless Whip video. Is that the one with the carb? Lol.
Oh, okay.
I don't care about your Diet Coke. Sorry.
I don't think anyone cares about your Diet Coke.
No, I don't even care about my Diet Coke. Is that the one with the carb? Yeah, I know.
My 78 Trans Am has a carb. And your Corvette 74 Corvette has a carb.
Correct.
And at the moment, that's the only cars we have with carbs. Yeah,
we do have two
vehicles with carbs. That's going to come soon.
I think people are going to love that.
Oh yeah.
Nordia, may the luck of the Irish smile upon you and you as well. Orca Monkey 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, do Taiwan and China do business then? How does it work to have a Chinese QA people and Taiwanese QA people in Chinese factories when China doesn't recognize Taiwanese independence? I'm confused.
No. Remember, mainland China is all about making money. So they're very happy to allow Taiwanese businesses to come and open factories.
Taiwan and China are the biggest partners in the world.
Yeah.
Between each other.
Yeah, when it comes to business.
Yeah.
So they've got factories and stuff, but of course they don't recognize the independence at all.
So this is what you have to do. He's interested in the travel thing.
Right.
So this is how it works. If you're a Taiwanese person, you have to bring your Taiwan passport, obviously, but you also have to have a special book, PRC book. And what that book says is that Taiwan is a province of China.
Yeah.
And then you have to sign that and shit. So you have your own mainland China passport to go there, right? Yeah. To go to Taiwan, you have to do the same thing. You basically have to fill out this like paper. It's like, oh, I'm visiting the Republic of China. Yeah. And you get your own little book and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. It's this petty little thing.
It's petty nonsense, yeah.
Dustin Pearson. Okay, the last question was a joke that you made, Matt. Lol. But for real, I really want a Grab Hag t-shirt, or is that too edgy? Didn't you come up with Grab Hag?
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do it. Grab Hag's
awesome, dude.
Dude, my video tomorrow is all about Grab Hags and how they're destroying the ecology here in
Dustin,
LA.
You're in luck for tomorrow.
Just SerpentZA tomorrow. I think you might enjoy Grab Hags. Yeah.
And if you guys want, please watch my video. Like, YouTube just quashed it.
Yeah.
Watch my video from yesterday. It was about TikTok thoughts, basically. Chinese TikTok thoughts that are scamming people.
And he doesn't mean thoughts as when you think like the thinker.
Thoughts.
Yeah, thought. A thought.
Not having a thought. Like
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, have some thoughts.
Anyway. I hope your family stays healthy. Thank you. Goonies 2, watch MISC, a hidden COVID fog. 0 in China's thousands in the US and allies growing strong. Nasty, going to pop soon. Sudden death, get pH level up. Big war soon. Thank you for the donation.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no.
Syed R, who is going to win the U.S. election in your opinion? How would I know that? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough call.
I'm sorry. I know. I really appreciate you look up to me to actually think I know that. Thank you for your
as an outsider who just lives here
idea.
And loves the country, I absolutely do. From what I see in the media always says one side's going to win like all the time. But you never know because what the media says was a lie last time.
Can we say SDFU to the media and to all this stuff? Because wasn't it fun? Winston helped me out with my vote the other day.
Yeah.
And what was the most important part of that vote? Was it the presidential election? No, it was the 20 other local politics.
Yeah, it's the local policies that allow Uber drivers can do their own thing.
Yeah,
blah,
police
blah, blah.
funding, actual stuff like disaster relief, things that actually affect you in daily life.
Yeah,
roads.
sure.
Not the presidential election.
Yeah.
So I think people that don't come from democratic countries think that you get like a ballot and it's like red or blue. You know what I mean? You vote for whoever you want, and it's important to vote on your local issues. And by the way, if you don't vote, you don't get a chance to talk. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Sam T, thank you. 42, our Fab, our bro. Go sub to him if you haven't already.
Yeah.
If you're interested in Metal Fab.
Yeah.
SerpentZA for Winnie the Pooh. Why are you giving him a beer?
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it a lot.
It's not for you.
Well, stockpiling them for when I'm better, because right now I don't want my spleen to rupture
It says
or whatever.
for Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, for him? No, it's me.
No, you're not Xi Jinping.
That has been my nickname
Fair enough.
forever.
Did he
so
know that?
I don't know. My name's Winston, so they used to call me Winnie the
I
Pooh.
understand that.
But what I used to hate the
you
most
shed
in
that.
school is when they used to call me Winnie Mandela,
Yeah.
because that was like,
I feel like you should be more mad about Winnie the Pooh considering it's Xi Jinping.
Well, before he came along
Sure,
on the scene,
That's true.
I used to enjoy Winnie the Pooh when I was young. The books and stuff, or the
I always
TV
thought it was
series.
boring as hell.
It's a British thing you wouldn't understand. It's
I
like tea and
definitely-
crumpets and cucumber
Because
sandwiches.
that's hard to understand.
It's super hard to
Bland. It's like,
understand.
dude, if I ate a cucumber sandwich, I would think I have COVID because I can't taste anything.
Yeah.
British food sucks. Alpha 101.
I don't know. Full English breakfast ain't bad.
That's fine. That's fine. That's a one outlier.
Cottage pie and
Yeah, whatever. Alpha 101. It's interesting to me that Volkswagen is investing so heavily in China, knowing that they're robbing them blind of product design and technology. They just don't seem to care anymore. Germany's knee deep. I feel like, not bad for Germany. I feel like Germany needs to stop.
yeah.
They're so knee deep in the China market, and they won't damage that. They're too scared to damage that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that any company, dude. We forgot to talk about this, and it's a very big thing. Saleen, the Mustang, the performance Mustang guys.
Yeah.
They developed that supercharger or whatever.
Yeah.
And they tried to get it made in China, and they just stole all, and they patented it, and they actually
Made a
kicked
new
them.
car,
Yeah.
right?
Well, they used the technology for the engine, the supercharger and stuff. They stole the patent for it, and then they repatented it, and now they're selling it as their own thing.
Right.
We got to talk about that. Put that in our notes next
Sure.
time, because it's big. It's a big thing.
that is.
It's a warning to any company that thinks they can just go and do something in China, go set up a factory, go do anything. No one is immune to the IP theft, because whoever owns that factory, whoever works at that factory, will secretly give the plans to their uncle who has an OEM factory, or their cousin, or their somebody, because then they can start making it themselves on the side and earn more money than making your product for you.
Yeah.
And it's happened to countless people,
It has.
big and small.
Germany, the reason I'm so offended about Germany is that they know a thing or two about concentration camps.
Yes, they do.
And they should probably, they're so very, very sensitive about that, rightfully so.
Yeah.
About the historical massive foible that happened.
Sure.
That destroyed lives of 6 million Jews. You'd think they'd be a little more sensitive to current concentration camps in China.
Yeah.
Oh, let's just turn a blind eye to that.
Yeah.
Not German people, by the way. I'm talking about the companies.
Yeah, the companies.
I know that German
and the
people
government.
are not into this.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's double standards all
Double
around.
standards. Christian Pisani in Sicily at the moment. On the beach, there are gangs of Chinese offering massages to everybody. That's interesting. I've never heard of that. Well, I'm going to put that in the notes. It's something to look into.
Interesting.
Are they criminal? They seem way too persistent to not be.
Oh, those are just obviously the pimps.
Yeah.
Because that's all. But that's
Yeah.
how they start. Massage. You get that a lot in China itself. What?
It was,
Oh, and they do that. Yeah, they do all these funny.
I
little,
don't want to get
yeah, they do all these
demonetized.
funny
I
hand
get
signals.
demonetized.
But yeah, that's,
We'll definitely look into it in Italy specifically. That's interesting.
yeah.
Cesar JPN says, C-Milk is reminding of strange parts in his quest to build an iPhone out of parts and gaudy cases he found at the phone markets. Red and gold color schemes. You could tell he was wincing about it. He's a good friend of ours. He supports what we do and we support what he does.
Yeah, yeah. No, I did a collaboration with
That's
him.
right.
Actually, if you want to
Lots
know,
of support both ways.
you can do a search for who is the iPhone guy
Yeah.
on my channel. You'll see I met him really early on after his first video, and
Yeah.
we hung out and spoke about
We
things.
met him in Starbucks.
Yeah,
remember that?
that's right.
42 Fab again. Whiskey for Winston, Coronas for the dictator.
Thank you. Maker's Mark.
I get it. He wants to give Corona to the.
Yeah, I
get
got
it.
you. That's
I get
perfect.
it. No,
Yeah.
we said we don't support that. Remember?
What?
No leader deserves any suffering. Wink.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Wink,
yeah.
wink.
Well,
Roy, hey Lance.
double standards much. Yeah.
Any advice on how to deal with older relatives who believe all the misinformation they see on WeChat?
It's tough.
Older relatives, that's a lot.
Super tough.
Bro.
I mean, don't forget, I've said this now multiple times, but my Chinese parents-in-law told my wife that they're very happy that they visited us here,
right.
because if they hadn't seen with their own eyes that where we live in Los Angeles and stuff is nice and safe and it's a beautiful place and it's all great, they would believe all this crap that's being peddled all the time, that it's just chaos and on fire and the most dangerous place where people are shooting everyone in the streets. And that's what a lot of these people believe, because that's what goes around in these WeChat articles and stuff, you know?
The advice I say is, honestly, think about it like this. What is your goal? Like, if you want to convince them otherwise for a certain reason, or do you just want to be right? Because just to be right for the sake of being right with an older Chinese person that's been brainwashed their whole life, I don't understand the point.
Yeah, just let them believe what they want to believe. I mean, it's the same if you've got older relatives who have different views
like
to you.
anti-vaxxers or something.
Yeah, you just be like, okay, I mean, if you want to believe in like, I don't
Flat
know,
Earth.
drinking this little potion that will make you feel better.
The people that send us all the links to bleach.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to believe in this stuff, go ahead. You know, that's fine. Just there's no point trying to convince them otherwise. But if it's actually damaging your family, like if you've got these older relatives telling their grandkids something that's detrimental to their
then that's
upbringing,
an issue.
Then you can set them
Then you
straight.
step in.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's it, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 36, guys. Thank you for sticking with us.
I've noticed something
What's
real
that?
quick before we go. The views are way higher than the subscriber count. So if you guys, we were in the ICU, right?
Right.
You guys, everybody missed out on that week's episode.
Yeah.
And it's tough to keep a schedule when you're in the ICU. So just make sure that you are subscribed. But that stupid, I hate when people say this, but unfortunately I have to say, that bell button next to the subscribe button is actually what tells you when we're going to go live.
Smash
that bell. You know, we have to say it.
I don't want to say it.
Because like a lot of people were concerned that because we weren't on the air a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And we should have been.
Sure.
So just make sure you're all, caught up here if you're subscribed and whatnot.
Like seriously, guys, I missed one video on my channel when I was in,
Me too.
having invasive surgery. This is the first and only time in years that I've missed a video. All right. Been consistent for I don't know how many years, and I plan to continue.
Sure.
It really literally takes an emergency like that to prevent me from making a video. So I apologize. I am currently recovering, and I got about another 2 weeks before I can start to be 100% normal again, without my spleen rupturing or whatever.
I think it's your appendix.
Whatever, it's all down there in that area. So, but back on track.
Both of us can't do much until we're feeling 100%.
Yeah. But back on track with all the normal videos.
Sure.
Can't wait to see you in my video tomorrow. And of course, you guys know the drill. Mondays we have our ADVChina, which is the bike stuff. If you're missing the actual motorcycle riding, just go to ADVChina every single Monday.
I don't know why people keep saying, I really miss you guys on the bikes. It's every week.
Every single Monday, yeah.
On ADVChina.
And we've still got tons more coming your way.
Go watch my TikTok hot girl video from yesterday.
Exactly.
On Law 86.
And don't forget our car channel, guys. It's actually a lot of fun. A lot of, what's really weird is we get a lot of comments where it's like, hey, is that SerpentZA?
Yeah,
they just randomly come across it. Like, you've got a car channel now.
Right.
Yeah, we have a car channel, so go check it out, guys. Anyway, absolutely love you all. Thank you so much for your support, your awesome questions, and for sticking with us. And we can't wait to see you in the next video. So until then, you know the drill. As always, stay awesome. And I'm not going to